Good evening to the November 20th LPA meeting. Boy, there's no minutes, just new business. We're going to get out of here quickly, I hope, so that poor Mr. Morton doesn't have to pay you a whole lot for this. Oh, okay. All right, so the only matter before us tonight is NPH 1, Martin Commerce Park, zoning agreement and master site plan, M164-010. This is quasi judicial. Do we have any interveners?
No.
Okay. Any ex parte, Rick? Any ex parte? I have spoken to the applicant. Okay. Everyone who's going to testify, please stand and be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, this has been requested by Morris Crady of Lucido and Associated. And Mr. Elam, will you begin?
Thank you, members of the LPA. For the record, I'm Brian Elam, Principal Planner with the Growth Management Department. A copy of my work history is on file with the clerk. This is a request by Lucido and Associates on behalf of Martin Commerce Park, LLC, for rezoning approval to planned unit development through a PUD zoning agreement for the Martin Commerce Park project, including a master site plan, phasing plan, and amended preserve area management plan. Included with this application is an affidavit deferring adequate public facilities reservation. The property is approximately 167.18 acres and is located east and adjacent to I-95 and south of Southwest Martin Highway, approximately a tenth of a mile south of the intersection of Southwest Martin Highway and Southwest Martingale Drive. The future land use on the property is industrial. The zoning is LI Limited Industrial District, which includes limited impact industries such as research and development, light assembly, and manufacturing. The property was formerly known as the Martingale Estates Subdivision, which was a 21-lot single-family residential subdivision platted in 2014 and included a preserve area management plan. 2 comprehensive plan amendments were approved in 2024. Ordinance 1233 authorized extension of water and sewer services to the property, created a freestanding urban services district, and placed restrictions on the property that include no residential building square footage, a maximum non-residential building square footage of 1,100,000 square feet, and future development approval for the property would be processed as a planned unit development. Ordinance 1234 changed the future land use on the 167.18 acre property from agricultural and agricultural ranchette to industrial, and included a concurrent resolution rezoning the property to LI Limited Industrial District. As required by Ordinance 1233, the owner has submitted an application requesting to rezone by way of the Martin Commerce Park PUD zoning agreement that includes a master site plan, phasing plan, and an amended preserve area management plan. The master site plan includes 5 phases with a maximum proposed building floor area of 1,100,000 square feet and includes areas for trailer parking and outdoor storage. The only developer benefit identified in the application is a request to increase the maximum building height from 30 feet to 40 feet. As stated earlier, the existing zoning district on the property is LI Limited Industrial District. The Limited Industrial District has a maximum building height of 30 feet, but allows commercial and business uses in the district to be 40 feet. The owner proposes the following public benefits. Owner shall donate to the county land for a proposed fire station in Western Palm City within 120 days of approval of the PUD agreement. And upon approval of the master site plan, the owner shall restore and preserve an additional 2 3/4 acres of upland habitat as shown on the master site plan in accordance with the amended preserve area management plan. Here's the master site plan. The PUD zoning agreement proposes the LI Limited Industrial District development standards for this property with the exception of the increase from 30 feet to 40 feet. Maximum building coverage is 40%, and the proposed building coverage is 15.11%. Minimum open space is 20%, and the provided open space is 54.2%. Setbacks for the limited industrial district are 15 feet for the front and 10 feet for the rear and sides. Proposed setbacks for buildings are 50 feet from the property or right-of-way lines and a minimum building separation of 50 feet. Along the east side of the property, this is the east, you can see the preserve area tract of 27.3 acres that includes 16.04 acres of wetlands, 8.51 acres of wetland buffer, and the additional 2 3/4 acres of upland preserve to be restored. Here's the proposed phasing plan. Phase 1 includes Lot 1 buildings, including required access, parking, utilities, and landscaping for the proposed buildings, and designated outdoor storage areas. Phase 1 includes construction of all roads, utilities, and drainage infrastructure for the entire project, as well as the preserve area management plan requirements, donation of the county fire station land, and construction of the traffic signal at Southwest Martin Highway. Except for Phase 1, get that. So Development Review staff have found the Martin Commerce Park LLC application to comply with the applicable regulations of the Comprehensive Growth Management Plan as detailed in the staff report. And staff recommends approval of the rezoning request by Martin Commerce Park LLC from LI Limited Industrial Zoning District to the Planned Unit Development and the Martin Commerce Park PUD zoning agreement, including master site plan, phasing plan, and the amended preserve area management plan. That concludes my presentation.
Any questions, Rick?
I live in Stewart West, so the lighting, when will it go up? When will they put a traffic light?
We'll talk about that in my presentation.
Okay.
Anything else?
And the water and sewers there, how do we get it into Stewart West? That may be also.
Yes, that is off subject.
Mr. Brown?
No, sir.
I have no questions at this time. Mr. Crady?
Yes, good evening. For the record, my name is Morris Crady. I'm senior partner with Lucido and Associates here on behalf of the applicant. I do have the proof of notice to surrounding property owners.
Right.
I do have a brief PowerPoint. I think we put it on the screen already,
You're right.
Brian. Should be on the desktop. Okay, thank you. So the notice included today's meeting and also the county commission meeting on December 9th. And I think Brian went over the location and a lot of the characteristics. We agree with everything he's saying and agree with staff recommendation. I do have to make some adjustments to the setbacks, and I'll go over that in a moment. But the site is at the I-95 Martin Highway interchange. I just wanted to show you the relationship to the Florida Turnpike here to the right of the screen. And again, this is the existing condition. There is a paved road that goes all the way down to the end, and there's two roads here that were to service these lots that have been platted. So part of our application is to replat those into to meet the project. As was mentioned, when we got the land use change last year, we did agree to certain text amendments that would apply specifically to this property. There are no residential uses allowed on the property. We're limited to 1.1 million square feet of industrial building area, not including any mezzanine or storage areas. And we have to move forward as a plan unit development, which is why we're here today with this application. And then prior to the issuance of the first CO is actually when the traffic signal has to be in place prior to the first CO of the first industrial building. And we are working on phase 1 and trying to get that submitted this month. So it's going to hopefully happen sooner than later. And we're working with DOT right now to finalize the permitting requirements, which has taken longer than expected. But we're moving forward. And the last one was that we would pay the full cost of capital facilities needed to address the impacts of such development. And that was really related to the water and sewer. The developer has paid towards the extension of water and sewer to the site, and the traffic improvements associated with the project are being totally funded by the developer. There are PUD benefits provided by the developer. The main benefit is the project itself. It is going to relate result in a substantial tax increase and property tax revenue. But also, we are donating a fire station site at the frontage, and I'll show you where that is. It's still kind of being worked out by the county's Public Works Department, but we are committing to the donation of a fire station site on property adjacent to the PUD. We are also increasing currently the preserve areas and lakes are easements on the lots. We're creating separate tracts as part of the replat to make those dedicated to the Property Owners Association for perpetual maintenance of those areas in accordance with the amended PAMP. The amended PAMP does include additional upland habitat that we're restoring in between the wetland preserves to serve as a wildlife corridor and connect all those areas. And we're increasing the open space from a minimum of 20% to 54%. And we meet all of the requirements. I didn't put in here the height. I apologize, but I know the maximum height of industrial land use is 40 feet, but the limited commercial or the limited industrial does restrict it to 30 feet. So that's the only developer benefit we're getting is we're increasing the height of the buildings from 30 feet to 40 feet. But no other exceptions, waivers, or variances are being requested or needed. And we do exceed most of the county's typical development requirements. This is just an enhanced aerial showing you some of the surrounding uses. This is where the proposed fire station site will be going. Again,
How big is that site?
Pardon?
How big is that site?
The fire station site's probably between 6 and 7 acres. This site is actually 19 acres in total, and they're looking at a site on this end right here. So we're waiting on them to give us a site plan and a final description, but that will hopefully be done before we go to the county commission or close to it. So this is the actual subject property. You can see the roads that have been built. There is a conservation easement that separates us from the adjacent property. That has been maintained and managed by Ashley Capital along with the preserve areas on the subject property. And then at our frontage is the Martingale Commons PUD, which is a transient-oriented commercial development. It's not part of this application, but it does allow for certain uses oriented to the traveling public, but nothing is proposed at this time. The access here is there's a lot of DOT right-of-way that goes into the property, so we're working with DOT now to rework this right-of-way to provide safe and convenient access into the property and put in the the signal at the intersection of Stewart West Boulevard and Martin Highway. So I just kind of turned it sideways so you can see how it relates to the site plan. Again, these are the existing roads, paved roads. We'll be taking out these two fingers. We're leaving in the existing road here and putting in the water and sewer in that right-of-way. And again, you can just see how the project is going to look. Now, your master site plan doesn't look like this, but this is how we created the master site plan from this concept. We didn't want to show every building on the master site plan because we didn't want to have to come back for a PUD amendment every time we made minor adjustments. So the master site plan that you have is really just showing the tracks and the lots and the preserve areas. It doesn't show the individual buildings, but this is the concept from which that was created. And you can see that turned into this plan, basically. The preserve area tracks, the lake track is a separate water management track. The lots have been identified. And again, the first phase is 5 buildings on Lot 1 and 1 building on Lot 2. And we're working on those final site plan application. It will also include all of the project infrastructure. So we'll be expanding this existing lake to accommodate the stormwater requirements. We're modifying this lake. All of the dry retention areas will be constructed as part of the first phase. So the stormwater management system will be in place. All of the preserve area requirements will be met as part of phase 1. And again, the proposed signalized intersection will be part of phase 1. So just getting back to the developer, Ashley Capital is a a longstanding reputation of one of the nation's top privately held investment companies. They have a proven track record of acquiring, developing, and operating light industrial parks. They are not going to be selling these lots. They're going to be retaining ownership and operating the park, hopefully for the long term. And they embrace the opportunity to create a premier light industrial park that will enhance the neighborhood with investments in public infrastructure and also provide highways, jobs, and capital investments in Martin County to enhance the tax base. They spent a lot of time and money since they acquired the property, enhancing the preserve areas on the property and in the conservation easement next to the property. And so with their improvements, they'll be able to maintain that preserve area in perpetuity. The one thing I want to mention as far as the setbacks, let me just go back to the site plan. We do have a setback on here that says the setback from between the buildings and the parking would be 15 feet. That's actually 10 feet. And also between the parking and the right-of-way, it says was going to be 20 feet, and that's actually going to be 10 feet. So we're correcting a couple setbacks under the building data, but those are the only changes that we're making. The buildings will still be set back 50 feet from the right-of-way, and there's also 50 feet of separation between the buildings. So with that understanding, I'll be glad to answer any questions. We do have members from Ashley Capital here that will explain or answer any questions about the type of tenants we're looking to attract, and we'll go from there.
Rick?
The traffic light, and I'm sure you don't have any control over this, but it would be really nice if that traffic light, and it makes sense to me, is that when I leave there if I leave before 5:30, there's not much traffic. And after about 9 o'clock, the traffic really slows down in the morning. So it'd be nice to have it, operating then, and then in the afternoon from 3:30 or 4 till 6:30 or 7 at night, and the rest of the time it could be flashing. So when you work with FDOT, maybe they could make that happen.
Good evening. For the record, Stephanie Guerra with Kimley Horn on behalf of the applicant. I'm the traffic engineer on the project, and we've been meeting with FDOT as part of the project. They typically are not in favor of having a light that's flashing for part of the day and then fully operational for the other parts of the day. We have talked to them about having it flashing until it meets the warrant criteria, but we could talk to them a bit more about considering that option. But the anticipation is, we do have a signal warrant analysis that we did to show that the signal will be warranted in support of the proposed signal as part of Phase 1. And as part of that, we are proposing for it to be operational for the entirety of the day. It could be, depending, we could work with the county to look at timing of that signal so that it could be actuated so that it's only being triggered when somebody's coming out of the Stewart West or Martingale approaches, so that there is that continuous green time throughout the rest of the day, so that it provides minimal disruptions during the day. But we'll continue to work with FDOT and with the county to look at what those options are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Rick? Mr. Brown?
No, sir.
So I do have a question, Morris, or two. Why are you going to 40 feet?
Well, I think that's probably the industry standard right now. I mean, 30 feet for an industrial building is not typical. I mean, all the buildings out at South Florida Gateway, for instance, are 40 feet. I think it's critical to your tenant needs, correct? I mean, you guys want to speak to that? Yeah.
I take it you have been sworn in, Mr. Morton?
No.
Do you swear or affirm the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. The 40 feet, that's of course to the parapets, Tom? Mm-hmm. Sorry, Rick Morton, worked with Ashley Capital. Of the 15 buildings, 13 will be 28-foot clear. The other two larger ones will be 32-foot clear. but you have a joist above that, and then you have roof and parapet. So I don't happen to know the exact number, but I believe it's, even on the larger buildings, Tom, you're looking at 36 feet. And the real reason you do this is because as everything goes forward, the forklifts get better, the floors get flatter, the tenants want to stack higher and higher.
So, and this is really for, I guess, for you, Paul. Why don't we change the code, since this is not the only one that wants to go to 40 feet? They have to ask for it. What, if that is the new standard, and it doesn't go above our height limit for anything else, why shouldn't we just change the code?
Paul Schilling, Growth Management Director. Mr. Chairman, that requirement is the 30 feet within the LI, with the exception being the other uses, is fairly recent. I'm trying to remember maybe how many years ago that was.
With the Palm Pike application in Palm City, the applicant requested to change commercial uses to 40 feet. There are PUDs throughout Martin County that have that 40-foot requirement too. That is something that we could bring up to the board that if they wanted to initiate the change to make it wholesale across.
I just think if the applicants are going to ask for it, perhaps we need to change our standard as long as it doesn't go above the 40 feet and we have other problems. It just would make everyone's life easier, including the applicant. Thank you. And the other question I have, and maybe someone else will answer it, what are we going to, when you dig out the lakes, or you're making them deeper, I take it, where's the fill going to go?
We actually aren't making the existing, again, for the record, Morris Craddy, the existing lakes deeper, we're just expanding them, and the fill is being used on site.
Okay,
Everything's
so
being-
it's not going off-site.
Correct.
Okay. Those are my questions. Does the school board have any questions for the many students that this will bring?
No, that anytime my new answer is bring kids.
So what she's really saying, there should be children working on the site. Okay, back to the, are there any, did you want to say something else, Rick? Are there any public comment? Seeing none, back to the board. Are there any other questions? So then I'll entertain a motion of some sort.
Make a motion to say yes.
Motion to approve, seconded by Mr. Brown. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Paul?
Mr. Chairman, yes, Paul Schilling for the record. So we do have a couple items that have been advertised for December 4th. That'll be on our next meeting.
Okay. I will be there.
Thank you.
December 4th?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you very much,
So you
gentlemen.
should have at least quorum.
Thank you very much.
Anything else, Paul?
No, thank you.
Seeing nothing else, we are adjourned.
Thank you.